My wife got bored with me and called her ex to F her. Here's how I caught her: by installing a wiretap. I'm 35, my wife's 31, and our sex life ended 6 months ago. I don't know what to do. We've got 2 boys, one's 3, the other's a year and a half. We're also in the middle of building a house. I'm not the kind of guy who just watches everything fall apart. I prefer to act fast and fix the problem. So I decided to talk to my wife directly to figure out what happened. At first, she didn't want to talk, but eventually she opened up. And here's what I learned: according to her, I'm just not right for her. She does everything by herself. She can't rely on me. She's the boss at home. She makes all the decisions, takes care of the kids. She said I'd be better off alone because I'm too stubborn. That hit me hard, but I accepted what she said and told her I understood her pain, that I'd try to change my behavior so she wouldn't feel stressed anymore. I love her so much that I preferred to agree with her instead of starting a fight. But still, I've got my own opinion. Thoughts that won't let me sleep, and one huge red flag that brought me here. Her accusations are far from true, at least in my eyes. I honestly think I'm a good husband. I work from home 8 to 9 hours a day, but after work, I still take care of our boys. I play with them, feed them, take the older one to swimming, put them to bed, and so on. If needed, I even wake up at night. Besides taking care of the kids, I help around the house, wash the dishes, buy groceries, do a bit of cleaning, though my wife prefers to clean herself since I'm not efficient at it. Handle car stuff, house construction, etc. I do a lot to make her life easier. I get it. 2 small kids are tough. Some people just can't sit on the couch for more than 5 minutes without thinking about what else to fix or what business to start. Her dad's like that, I'm not. When the day's done, the kids are asleep, work's finished, the house is clean. I'd rather watch a movie or play some video games to unwind. I'm not one of those people who could start their own business. I'm good at my job and prefer when someone tells me what to do, and I do it well. There are many people like me, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm not chasing some flashy career or millions in the bank. I'm just a regular decent guy who wanted a happy, healthy family and a decent income. I realized that started to annoy my wife. Even though we'd been happily married for 4 years, plus more years together before that, our first big talk happened in December. After that, I started changing, working harder, doing extra shopping, house repairs, basically not resting in the evenings. She liked that, but her attitude toward me didn't change. So I had to start another conversation. Seeing how she acted, I asked right away, "Do you want to save our marriage?" She said, "I don't know." That was hard to hear, so I asked, "Do you want to go to family therapy?" Again, "I don't know." Then I told her, "Now's not the time for I don't know. Our kids could soon end up with parents living apart." After that, she agreed. So I had to find a therapist. She wasn't really interested. During one session, she told me some painful things like, "I married you to impress my parents and my married sisters, to have a big happy family and beautiful kids." I also found out she'd been discussing our marriage with the local priest. Anyway, I found a good therapist, and we're about to have our 3rd session soon. We discovered we've got different love languages. I need physical touch, and she needs acts of service. But even after therapy started, she still doesn't give me any physical affection. No hugs. After 2 sessions, I asked her if she likes therapy, how she feels, and all she said was that she felt uncomfortable sharing details of our private life with some random woman. When the therapist found out we hadn't slept in the same room for 6 months, she was shocked. My wife explained it by saying she sleeps with the kids in one bed, so there's no space for me. The therapist said that's a really bad example for the kids, not letting their father into the bedroom. If there's no space in the bed, she said, then go to IKEA, for God's sake. Buy a single bed and put it next to the big one. So that's what I did, bought a bed, assembled it, and now I sleep there. Funny enough, I still feel lonely. She's way over on the left, the kids in the middle, and I'm all the way on the right. Since our problems began, her explanation has changed a bit. She started saying she's depressed because she's stuck at home with the kids all the time. She said all those nasty things before because she was overwhelmed by emotions and so on. I'd never, under any circumstances, say something like that to her, but I guess I had to believe her. Recently, she went back to work, and we hired a nanny. The only change in her behavior is that we started talking again. But I'm not just her friend, I'm still her husband, and there's still zero intimacy. Doesn't look like that's gonna change. She doesn't care about the therapy sessions anymore. I have to be the one to initiate and schedule them myself. As for intimacy, she said she doesn't need it at all, that she only did it because I wanted to. That made me feel like some kind of rapist. She was never that enthusiastic about sex before. It happened once a week, which was fine for me, though it could have been more. But this year we've been intimate twice. Both times out of pity, like it was a chore. Once at the start of January because it was my birthday. So now I need a birthday to get laid. The second time was after family therapy when I initiated it, but she just lay there on her back, covering her chest, waiting for me to finish. After that, I stopped trying. This isn't right, it shouldn't be like this. Whenever I bring it up, she just says, "That's how I am. If you don't like it, just leave me. I don't know what to do. Please give me some advice." So, I suggest we give the guy the advice he's asking for. Write your thoughts in the comments. And now let's move on to the update. Update 1. One day, my wife tried to call her ex 4 times in a row at 10 p.m. She never actually talked to him, but she did try to reach him. I found out only because we used to have this app that stored our phone numbers, so I could see incoming and outgoing calls for each number. When I saw that, I lost it. Why is my wife calling her ex 4 times at 10 p.m.? I decided to check her messages on her laptop. I felt awful doing it, but I had my reasons. We're married, we have kids, and she's acting weird. After those 4 calls, she texted him, "I'll keep calling until you pick up and talk to me like a normal person." When I confronted her about it, she lied. Said she didn't call him. Then I showed her the app and the outgoing calls. She had no choice but to admit she tried to reach him. I asked why. She said it was just a callback, but since I knew she'd also texted him, I asked if she messaged him again after that. She said no. Then I showed her the text she sent. She explained that he called her first, said some random nonsense. She told him to F off and hung up. Then she felt awkward and tried to call him back 4 times because he didn't answer. Finally, she sent that message. He never replied. I don't know what to think. This happened around the same time she stopped being intimate with me. Her take on it? She doesn't see anything wrong with hiding it from me. For her, it's not a big deal. But for me, any contact with an ex is a huge red flag. It's unacceptable. She's cheating on me. We haven't been intimate for 6 months, and those calls happened right around that time. Update 2. Thanks to everyone for your comments. At first, I couldn't believe how many of you actually thought my wife was really cheating on me. It sounded like science fiction, like something out of a movie, something my wife would never do. But today, everything changed. It's a fact now. I feel like an idiot, but I guess that's my life. I know I said I'd call her ex and talk to her family, but I decided to stay calm. You can imagine how hard that was. All I did was install a voice-activated recorder in our car. It was there for just 3 days. My wife used the car to go to work, then to the gym, and eventually she called her ex twice. Or maybe he called her, I'm not sure who started it, but I heard every word. It was a video call. I heard everything, talk about intimacy, about their lives, the kind of conversations we used to have 9 years ago when we first started dating. Same flirting, same jokes, same energy, everything we don't have anymore. They talked about vacation plans. She laughed, said she'd visit him in July. Unbelievable. She even gave him 2 years to come back to our country. I can't believe it. I just finished listening to that 1-hour recording. There's a lot I need to process. I'm meeting with a lawyer next week. I just wanted to say thank you. You guys opened my eyes. If it weren't for you, I'd have never bought that damn recorder. And to think I even felt guilty putting it in the car. I'll keep you posted. Right now, I just need to calm down and focus on my kids, and on what she's done. It all started last September. It took me 2 months to notice the changes in her behavior. Next week, I'll be taking care of my elderly father in another city. That means my wife won't be going to work for a week. She'd be watching the kids. She'd definitely be using my home office for her remote work. Which probably means she'd be talking to her ex from my office. Should I leave the recorder there next week? Or do I already have enough proof of her cheating? Update 3. It all started last September, so I guess I've been out of the game for a while now. My wife doesn't want to spend a single minute with me in our rented apartment. She's always busy visiting her parents, her sister, her friends. Even when we put our kids to bed, she either leaves the room or just lies down silently and goes to sleep. The recording speaks for itself. She tells her ex she loves him, wants to visit him, go on vacation with him, marry him, and that she'll leave me soon. They even talked about his favorite sex position, so yeah, they've been sleeping together. It's all on tape. The thing is, my wife doesn't know that I know. Her family and friends don't know either. They all think we're just going through a rough patch. We live in a small town, about 20,000 people. We recently built a house, but it's not ready to move into yet. I have a feeling my wife's going to file for divorce soon. I can see how disgusted she is just being around me. Her body language, her silence, it all says it. She wants me gone. And in 2 years, her lover will move to our town to live with her, in our house, with my 2 little boys. On the recording, she mentioned she gave him 2 years to come back to our country. People will probably understand. They'll think she just wanted a father for her kids, and nobody will judge her. Her lover is her first boyfriend. They were together for 7 years before she married me. We've been together for 9 years now. He lives abroad but visits our country often. I refuse to be a puppet in this situation. Right now, I have a lawyer, and I'll be meeting with him soon. I could destroy her reputation, make the recordings public. Please give me advice. What should I do if she files for divorce? My lawyer says it'll take about a month to prepare my documents. Update 4. I met with the lawyer and found out a few important things. Turns out, completely ruining her life wouldn't be the smartest move. The reason is that we have kids, and I'll have to co-parent with her for another 15 to 16 years. Another reason is that I respect her family and don't want to drag them into the divorce as witnesses. Also, I won't get custody of the kids. They're still little, and they have to stay with their mother in that small town about an hour away from the capital. Either way, I'll be a weekend dad. Finally, I won't get permission to sell our house because the kids need a place to live. As unpleasant as it is, that's just the reality here in Poland. After our talk, the lawyer sent her the papers. They were supposed to be delivered right after Easter. In Poland, that's 2 days, Sunday and Monday. I acted like everything was fine at the dinner table, helped buy some alcohol. Yesterday, on Tuesday, I had the day off and was taking care of my younger son. She went to work in the capital. During that time, my brother helped me pack all my stuff from the apartment and load it into his car. Then the mailman delivered the divorce papers, basically an invitation to mediation so we could divide assets and divorce peacefully. The documents stated that she's in a relationship with another man, and that's the reason for the divorce. The evidence I have will be used as leverage when it comes to alimony and other terms. When she got home, I told her I knew everything, that I had undeniable proof, and she needed to contact my lawyer. Then I handed her the divorce papers and drove to her parents' place. Of course, she started asking what exactly I knew, how I found out, and kept denying everything. Her parents were shocked but believed me. I recorded everything, just like my lawyer advised. I started with simple questions. Do you consider me a good and caring husband and father? They said yes. Now my wife can't use her parents as witnesses against me in court. As I expected, they believed me, realized how terribly she'd behaved, and that she ruined my life and the lives of our kids. I thanked them for understanding and left for the capital. Meanwhile, I called a friend, and he made sure the news spread among her friends. 2 hours later, my wife's brother called me and said she admitted to cheating on me with her ex, though she didn't confess they'd had sex. He told me everyone's on my side and that she destroyed our family. He also said his wife visited my soon-to-be ex and called her a liar, but then he added that maybe the marriage could still be saved. He said he cheated on his wife once too. She forgave him, and now they're happy. Then her father called me and also admitted it was completely her fault, that she doesn't even realize what she's done. He said her lover would never set foot in his house and that he'd stop supporting her financially. He even tried to call the lover, but the guy didn't answer. In the end, her father said he still believed things could be fixed. Finally, her other sister sent me a message saying she fully supports me, but she also thinks the marriage can still be saved. I don't like that at all, because I'm sure there's nothing left to save. I'm afraid her relatives will cling to the fact that I don't have an actual recording of them having sex, and that my reasons for divorce might not seem strong enough. But I do have recordings of her saying things like, "Make sure you last more than 3 seconds when I come to see you in Holland. I love you. I'm leaving my husband. Please record yourself on video and send it to me. I'll show you what your life with me will look like. I'm giving you 2 years to come back here." All of that, along with her cold behavior toward me for the past 7 months. And more than that, right after our confrontation, she told me she never stopped loving him. For me, that's more than enough. What do you think? Anyway, as many of you predicted, now she's crawling back after her family turned against her. She's already texting me stuff like, "I didn't know what I was doing. I can't imagine my life without you. I'm so sorry. The kids and I are waiting for you at home and hoping you'll come back." She also said she didn't Mean to tell me she'd always loved her ex? I don't know. Everyone's making me feel like I rushed into the divorce just because I don't have proof of their sex. And she keeps denying anything happened between them that sounds believable. Because the guy lives in Holland, but he could have come here too. Update 5. 5 weeks have passed, and in all that time my wife hasn't once called or come by. She had plenty of chances. She literally drove past my parents' house where I'm staying now, but limited herself to rare messages. We also saw each other a few times when dropping off the kids, but she didn't even try to apologize, just hi and bye. Her family started talking to me way more. Her father called me twice. Her mother sent me a dozen messages with links to Christian pages about forgiveness. One sister wrote she's very sorry and says this all happened because, in her words, my wife was possessed by some evil spirit. Another admitted my wife destroyed our family and doesn't expect me to go back to her. Her brother even came to see me and invited me for a beer. He wasn't trying to convince me of anything, just had a normal talk about what happened and what might happen next. If I don't go back to my wife, of course. He'd like me to go back to the family but didn't push. All these talks boiled down to, we can't believe she did this. We'd like you to come back to her, but understand if you won't. Then the day came when I made my decision and my lawyer told her lawyer I can't forgive her and want a divorce. My lawyer presented my divorce terms. Now we're waiting for their response. While we waited, her sister started blaming me and literally said that now I destroyed our marriage. She said very clearly that it all started with my wife who was very selfish. She regrets it. She cries and wants everything back. And now I'm the selfish one, and it's me who will end this marriage by divorcing her. Now everything depends on me. I could cancel the divorce and just go back to my kids. I wouldn't even need to go back to my wife, just return to raise my 2 boys. The sister said I'm full of anger and over time it'll only get worse. She said I just need to get over it and keep living with my wife. She described the divorce as my revenge on her and, she said, actually revenge on our children. I can't understand that. I knew it would happen, that the narrative would shift and her family would start blaming me, but it's still shocking. Today, for a moment, I felt like it was all my fault that my wife treated me like trash for more than half a year. She wanted to leave me. So yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on me. It's very, very hard, but I won't change my decision. The divorce will happen. Now they've got a narrative where I'm the villain abandoning the kids. I thought to destroy that argument by offering conditions to save the relationship that she likely won't accept. I don't love her, but I'd do it for the kids. No marriage, just partnership, separate finances. She moves from her hometown and moves with the kids to the capital where I live. GPS on her car, daily phone checks. All that after I spend 7 months seeing different girls. I also wouldn't tell her about those relationships. If she found out, there still wouldn't be a marriage. I don't care what you think, it's just an idea, nothing serious. I probably won't do it anyway. But I have no other ideas on how to shut our family's mouths about me allegedly abandoning the kids. In Poland, Europe, small kids must stay with the mother after a divorce. I can't take them because she lives in a small town an hour away and the kids have kindergarten there. We can't split them 50-50ths. I'll be a weekend dad with visitation rights when I want. It's sad and painful, but that's the reality. Update 6. 2 months have passed since I handed my wife the divorce papers and moved to the capital, which is an hour away from the small town where we used to live together. Now I live with my parents, sleeping on the couch in their living room. The dining table has turned into my workspace and my clothes hang on every chair around. I work from home 8 hours a day. After that, I usually help my elderly parents, they're 88 and 71, with daily chores around the house, do the grocery shopping, and drive them to their doctor appointments. I also go to the gym or to the cinema to distract myself from the negative thoughts about what happened. I see my kids every weekend, she brings them to me and I drive them back. Those weekends are truly wonderful. I feel genuinely happy when I'm with my children. I took a paternity test, and the boys are indeed mine, at least there's no doubt about that. The situation with the divorce settlement is still somewhat unclear. It's hard to say what the final outcome will be since I'm living with my parents and don't have a place of my own. I want to receive a significant amount of money from my wife. She's agreed to take over the mortgage for the house. But she only offered me 1/3 of what I'm asking for, saying that's the amount I contributed to building the house. The problem is that this situation wasn't caused by me. I'm not the guilty one here, and I need somewhere to live. 1/3 of that amount isn't enough to buy an apartment, so the discussion between our lawyers continues. The reason she's offering such a small amount is that she wants to keep the house. However, During our last conversation, I learned she might have to sell it. She probably won't be able to pay the mortgage and give me my share. We'll see how that turns out. Other financial matters such as child support, which she claims are ridiculously high, still need to be discussed. She also insists that I should pick up the kids from her small town and drive them back at the end of the weekend, which takes a lot of fuel and time. In my opinion, she should bring them herself, and I'll take them back. As you can see, she's responsible for all of this but still ready to argue about the terms of the divorce. Her sister invited me to her daughter's first communion last Sunday. I went mostly to spend more time with my boys. Everyone in the family knows my decision is final, so nobody tried to talk me out of it. I simply looked after my kids while the others sat eating and drinking at the table after the ceremony. At one point, though, my wife asked me if my decision was really final. I looked at her and said calmly, "Yes, it is final. Nothing will change it. I'm here to spend time with my boys." But then she kept talking, saying she truly regrets what she did, that she ended things with her ex, and that she even went to an exorcist, a Catholic priest, confessed every detail of her affair, and left everything in God's hands. I told her I didn't care about her priest. If she needed to confess to someone, it should be me. Honestly, at that moment, it all just seemed ridiculous. Still, I said, "Okay, if you really regret it, I'm giving you one chance to tell me the whole truth. Tell me, how many times did you sleep with him?" She answered, "Never." Then I asked, "Remember the party with your colleagues in November? Why did you rent an Airbnb for the night instead of staying at one of your friends' houses?" She went silent, couldn't find the words except, "Why do you keep torturing yourself with this?" I explained that if she truly felt remorse, she wouldn't keep lying, even 2 months after I left. That was just one example. I told her that, to me, intimacy over video calls is no different, and I know she did that with him. She couldn't even count how many times. Then I said, "How do you imagine us ever being together again? You start talking to me and immediately lie. Do you understand that I would check your phone every day? Are you ready for that?" She replied, "That wouldn't be trust. That would be treating me like trash." Then our son interrupted us. I ended the conversation by saying, "Remember, you didn't just cheat on me. You cheated on our 2 wonderful boys." That set her off. She started shouting that this was the last time I was ever allowed to say something like that in front of the kids. Funny thing is, her sister had told me how my wife is supposedly suffering and cries every day because of all this. It's been almost half a year now, and every single day I find myself facing the same questions. Do I still love her? Could I ever go back to her for the sake of the kids? Do I want to return to that small town where she lives and finish the house we started together? The truth is, I don't have clear answers anymore. I used to think I did, that everything was black and white. She betrayed me, she lied, she destroyed our family, that's all true. But after so many months, the emotions get mixed. The anger slowly turns into exhaustion, and exhaustion into emptiness. I don't think I love her anymore, at least not in the way I used to. What I feel now is closer to grief, like mourning someone who is still alive. I loved her once, deeply, completely, and that part of me is gone forever. I can't bring it back no matter how much she claims to regret everything. Would I go back for the kids? Maybe once I thought about it. But now I realize going back would only teach them the wrong lesson. That love means tolerating lies. That forgiveness means pretending the past never happened. I don't want my boys to grow up thinking that's what a family should look like. As for that unfinished house, I've stopped seeing it as our home. It's just bricks and concrete now. A symbol of what could have been. I don't want to live there. That small town feels suffocating. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone talks. I want a fresh start, in the capital, where I can build something new, not patch up what's broken. I still struggle, though. Every weekend when I see my boys, the pain comes back. I look at them and think about how their mother and I were supposed to raise them together, and it hurts. But I'm learning to accept that this is my life now. Divided weekends, separate worlds. She keeps writing me, saying she loves me, that she's changed, that she prays for a second chance. But love isn't just words. She wants to be forgiven without facing the truth. She never even had the courage to tell me everything face to face. So no, I don't think she truly regrets it. I think she regrets the consequences, not the actions. What I know for sure is that I'm done living in lies. I'll finalize the divorce, stay close to my kids, and focus on becoming someone they can look up to, not someone trapped in the past. That's where I am now. Will I be able to feel comfortable 5 to 10 years from now, knowing what she did? The answer to all those questions is a categorical no, without a single doubt. That's it. Yes, I love my kids endlessly, and I'd love to see them every day, but I can't. I'd love to love her, but I can't. Even though she wants me to come back, I'd love to get that family back, but I can't. I'd love to forget everything, but I can't. At some point, I even offered her a second chance that she would come to the capital with the kids and start a new life. She refused, saying that in the small town her family helps her, and she won't sell the house because she wants our kids to have something for the future. When I told her that family isn't just a building, it's a mother, a father, and children together, she just stayed silent. That's when I realized we're done. There's no mutual agreement, no middle ground in all this. I explained that I wouldn't continue my life in that small town because that's exactly where her affair began. Her ex noticed her on the street while driving by and called her. I went on, saying I absolutely won't finish building the house that's only 1.5 kilometers away from her lover's family home. I don't want to live my life worrying that she might even accidentally run into him. He lives abroad, but visits his family 2 or 3 times a year. That's where the conversation ended. I hate that small town. She doesn't want to live in the capital, that's it. Here's a small example of her way of handling things. We agreed that I'd take back the money I invested in the house, and she'd keep it for the kids. Now she even has a problem with that, because the agreement includes a clause saying she can't sell the house until the kids turn 18, the age of majority in Poland. Otherwise, she'd be obligated to split the money from the sale equally between us. She claims it's unfair, because she plans to finish building the house with her own money, and if she sells it, I'll get half of a completed house. When I asked her why she's even thinking about selling the house, she said she can't predict how her life will turn out. I can't trust her. At this point, I'm leaning toward just selling the structure altogether. I can't live with the thought that I'm selling a house that was meant for my kids. Update 9. Today she wrote me the following message. I want you to answer my question. I'm asking you here because if we talked in person, we just start yelling at each other. You already told me who I am, what I did, and that you don't want to talk about it anymore. Do you want to forgive me, leave the past behind, and build a family from scratch? Or do you already know you'll never be able to forgive me and will never come back to us? Please think about it and let me know. Do you want to save our marriage or not? What does that even mean? I think she's not really in a position to demand such certainty from me. I replied, I deserve more than a messenger chat. We'll talk in person. I spoke to her. I laid out my only 2 conditions under which this marriage could continue. Moving to the capital and cutting all ties with her lover and his family. The second condition she understood, but the first one turned out to be an impossible obstacle. She apologizes for what she did, but she's not ready to move to Warsaw because, as she says, we'd never have a big beautiful house there, and even small apartments cost a fortune. She insists that our kids are happy in the small town. She only pays utilities for the apartment she lives in because it belongs to her father. In Warsaw, she'd have to pay 4 or 5 times more for a smaller flat, utilities, and rent. Plus, she's got friends and family there who can help with the kids after work. All that is true. I can see that the kids are fine there, and she's comfortable. She said that if we moved, the only one who'd be happy would be me. It would just feed your ego. It's a complicated situation because there's some truth in her words. Even the kindergarten in that small town belongs to her sister, and we barely pay anything for it. She just put me in a situation where there's no solution. I'm sticking to my opinion. I'm not going to live in a small town. But I also see that moving to the capital doesn't make sense for her and the kids. We agreed that in that case I'll just continue visiting them, spending as much time with them as possible. I'll pick them up in Warsaw every other weekend. She said she won't be with anyone else. She'll just wait for me. It's hard for me to believe, and I don't really care. Maybe it's even good, because the kids will see only me as their dad, not some random guy I don't even know. During our conversation, she said a few things that clearly show she's not remorseful at all. When I asked her why, during all the time we've been living apart, she never called me and only sent messages, she said she didn't have time because of the 2 kids running around the house. She said she will never talk about the affair again and won't give me any extra details. Even if I ask, that topic is closed for her. She also admitted that her lover had been texting her for years, and she always rejected him, but when he wrote to her last year, because of my passive behavior, she decided to start a fling with him. I replied that her words are just disgusting. She just rolled her eyes and said, "You only think about yourself. You're the only poor thing here." Update 是. Somehow, I've learned to live independently, having limited time with my kids, and now I feel ready to start dating again. Actually, I've been using a dating app for some time. I get enough matches, and setting up a date with a nice girl isn't a problem. I've already had 2 or 3 short romances, which unfortunately I had to end because when they wanted to meet, I was busy with the kids. Every other weekend is fully taken. I'd like these relationships to last longer. I always lied that I had some meeting or something else, and the women took it as a lack of interest from my side. The problem is how to handle this right now. When I meet a new girl, I don't say that I'm almost divorced and have 2 kids. I realized it's the only way to get to a second or third date. Is there any solution to this problem? Is there a chance that a girl would stay with me if I tell the truth from the very beginning? Has anyone had a similar experience? I don't necessarily want a serious relationship right now, but eventually, I'd like to be in one. That's basically the whole story, and it ends here. Write in the comments what you think about her. Thanks for watching this video till the end. Check out similar ones on the channel.